What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and this is my NXT Takeover War Games review. Now, up until NXT Takeover Philadelphia, this will be the last Takeover show I have to do in 14 days. That's only 2 weeks from now. Okay, so 2 weeks later, I am going to have to review another show. Hoping to have a little bit more of a reprieve, but what can you do? Anyway, and not because I don't like the show, but because I want to get to the other reviews. I already told you how I want to do the other reviews in my previous video. Go check out that video. That is my NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 review. I'll tell you how I think of the show. And the opening couple of minutes, I describe exactly what my plans are for future videos. So with that said, let's continue on with the review. NXT TakeOver War Games. I'm just going to be straight up. This was an awesome pay-per-view. This is one of the best. I know technically pay-per-view is not the name, but this is one of the best pay-per-views all year. Possibly the best NXT TakeOver all year. Possibly. It does have a contender with TakeOver Orlando, but this was a great pay-per-view. Capped off with one of the best, probably one of the best, if not the best main event all year for both WWE and NXT. So let's just get right into it. Opening match was Lars Sullivan going up against Kassius Ohno. Now, up until this point in time, Lars Sullivan has been mostly dealing with jobbers, or if not jobbers, lower-ranked NXT stars. Like, say, for example, Raul Mendoza, or Fabian Eichner, or someone like that. Although, I don't think he ever went up against Fabian Eichner, because Eichner, to me, is somewhat similar to Lars Sullivan in terms of how he looks. But this was his first, real test in NXT in Kassius Ohno. The real test being, okay, how's this guy going to work out? And I'd say it worked out well. Opening match only lasted about, what, 5 minutes? Maybe less, maybe more, I don't know. Definitely 5 minutes, probably. Opening match... it was actually a nice, fun little sprint. These two guys didn't waste any time in trying to beat the hell out of each other. Kassius Ohno with forearms, Lars with the power game. It's not often I say that someone has a power game over Kassius Ohno, but Lars Sullivan certainly did. And before I continue, I gotta say this. Remember when I said in my Wrestle Kingdom 12 review that Minoru Suzuki is the scariest wrestler right now? Lars Sullivan probably has to be a close second. Because even though Suzuki is just naturally scary, Lars not only has the size, he also has a very menacing face and has the personality of a guy you don't want to fuck with. So anyway, match started out, with a bang. At one point, when Kassius Ohno was outside, Lars not exactly ran, but he kind of jumped off of the ring apron and did a shoulder tackle to Kassius Ohno on the floor, which I didn't see coming considering the guy's size. And then later, of course, he just picked him up and just splattered him on the apron with face first. You're seeing him toy with Kassius Ohno at times like Ohno was a smaller guy. Ohno, just to let you guys know, the former Chris Hero is Lars Sullivan's size. He's about the same height as him. Probably not as strong, although who knows. But here he's basically throwing this guy like a freaking cruiserweight almost. Ohno had several times tried to fight back. Lars would have a counter for each, including hitting him with a pop-up power slam, which a guy the size of Kassius Ohno is very difficult for some people to do. Lars Sullivan did it with ease. He did it with ease. Then, after the pop-up power slam, Lars went up top for the... I don't know what he was going for. It was either a top rope splash or a top rope headbutt. Either way, he missed, so I guess it doesn't matter, because Kassius Ohno got out of the way. He did his comeback, kicked him in the face, several forearms to the back, even did his discus bicycle kick. Went for the pin, only got a 2. At one point, he had one of Lars' arms, so he couldn't use it, and just repeatedly kicked the guy right in the face. And then did a Kevin Owens style running senton or really Samoa Joe, because the way Kevin Owens does it a little differently. He kind of did it the way Samoa Joe usually does it. After a couple forearms, though, so Kassius Ohno had the upper hand. He had a couple of stiff forearms on Lars Sullivan, and then as Ohno was going after Lars basically countered by just straight up picking him up, then putting him in the freak accident finisher, which is almost like an elevated rock bottom, if you can really believe it, given his size. And then straight up pinned him, 1, 2, 3, winner Lars Sullivan. I like this match. This was not meant to be one of the best matches on the show, like how a couple of shows are, like Gargano and Andrade Almas or something like that. It wasn't meant to be a great match, but it was meant to be a showcase for if Lars Sullivan could succeed. And I think he clearly showed us that he did. That's good, because that means we get more Lars Sullivan. And considering what's happened the past few weeks, being in that Fatal 4-Way for the NXT TakeOver Championship, #1 contendership, seemingly going into a feud with Killian Dane, I think the guy is doing good enough. Next up, we had another showcase match for one Velveteen Dream, the former Patrick Clark from Tough Enough. He went up against Aleister Black, and the story leading up to this match was Black would not even acknowledge Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream wanted to be acknowledged, wanted Aleister Black to say his name. He basically wanted him to know that, Dream was there and deal with it. And Dream eventually became so obsessed with this that I guess in order to prove that he had to acknowledge him, he challenged him to a match, and yeah, that's basically it. This match, I know some people consider this to be the best match on the show. All due respect to those people, I can't see how they can place it above War Games, considering how much fun War Games was. Don't get me wrong, this match was fun, and it was the second best match of the night by far. But that War Games match was a friggin' spectacle on its own. So for some people, I just can't see how they can put it above War Games. That's just me. Now with Aleister Black, NXT and people in NXT already knew Aleister Black was a great wrestler. Velveteen Dream was a different case, because leading up to the match, Velveteen Dream had been wrestling very short matches. So much like with Lars Sullivan with Kassius Ohno, this was also a showcase for Velveteen Dream against Aleister Black. This match was awesome. I'm kind of going back and forth on the rating, which star rating to give it, but it doesn't really matter too much, considering the fact that no matter what, my opinion stays the same. This was a great match, and it was the second best match on the show. That will always be the same. I liked how early on in the match, Velveteen Dream went for several, he tried to go for several chokeholds, rest holds, basic wrestling maneuver stuff. But Aleister Black would always keep on countering into various armbar submissions. Not like a arm breaker type move, but just wrenching the arm on the back, that kind of thing. Just taking control early on was Sir Aleister Black. And before I continue, I just gotta say this. The way Velveteen Dream's tights looked, it reminded me so much of Rick Rude. I mean, he had the long tights. He had Aleister Black's face on one side of his leg, his right side. His face with the glasses on the left side. And the NXT logo, they pretty much printed across his ass on the back side. Yep. And by the way, speaking of glasses, Velveteen Dream, his entrance was, of course, always cool because I actually like his song. But he came out in like the Shawn Michaels style glasses, like how he wore the circular sunglasses from 1994 at WrestleMania 10. But they were like tinted purple, and there was like a third frame like right here, like basically on his forehead, but it was connected to the glasses. I'm just like, what the hell? Is he supposed to be an alien now? What's going on? Anyway, continuing on the match. There was at one point when Aleister Black got I believe it was. I think it was called. It's called an octopus hold. I believe called the octopus hold when he was on the back of Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream tried, and then eventually, after trying the amateur wrestling game, he just decided to try to punch Black, and that didn't work. He sent him to the outside for his troubles. And then, in many of Aleister Black's matches, when someone is on the outside, Black teases going for a dive, but then he jumps up on the middle rope and then does like a lion salt, stands on his feet, and then goes into like a Indian-style position sit down. As he was doing this, Velveteen Dream crawled in the ring, trying to, I guess, attack him, and then was, like, looking at him. He even did and then, of course, he stood up, and then did a Rick Rude-style gyrate. Which Aleister Black probably is like, what the hell is this? And then, of course, he sat down just like how Aleister Black is sitting down. And then Aleister Black starts crawling to him like he's the Velveteen Dream. It was hilarious. It was awesome storytelling and hilarious to watch. But it was also fantastic because I was very entertained. So then they finally decide to basically cut the bullshit and actually wrestle each other. At one point, Aleister Black had Dream in like an arm hold. Dream smartly got out of the ring and basically, and in doing so, shoved Aleister Black's face or throat into the ropes, which was clever. Like Aleister Black at one point, kind of in a sense pulled a Kassius Ohno when Black was on the outside, and Dream would run at the ropes. He would of course do his little flip dive over onto the apron, and then stand and do his pose, which is like this. I'm sorry. Sorry. And then, of course, he slid back into the ring and did his pose. The way he did it was just hilarious. I just loved these guys in this match. Just the way they went back and forth. There was this one sick-looking neck breaker move, which instead of just landing him on the mat in the ring, Dream landed Black on his shoulder, so kind of almost like a reverse stunner in a sense. He then hog-tied Aleister's arms into the top and middle rope, something you don't see a lot nowadays. I don't know why, but you don't see that a lot. And then Dream kept on trying to, it was like slapping him around. Aleister finally got out of it by kicking him right in the face. And then he just like said, I guess in his mind he said, fuck this, and just decided to beat the shit out of Dream, including moonsaults and a knee right to the face. The middle rope moonsault, not like a top rope Muto style moonsault. There was a moment when Dream was going for this, as it turned out, cool looking Death Valley driver. Tried it the first time, didn't work. Tried it a second time. It wasn't any normal Death Valley driver though. It was like he kind of like rolled into the move, which honestly for some people that would be a finisher. Dream, that is not the Velveteen Dream's finish, but it was cool. I think Dream went for like a top rope move and Aleister got him down. He went for I think he got him with a Shining Wizard. That didn't work. Then Aleister, Velveteen Dream got Aleister Black in this. Okay, you know how do I explain this? You know how Bray Wyatt does his the Sister Abigail, and how Jay White does the Blade Runner, kind of that kind of style, the swinging reverse STO kind of thing. Well, Velveteen Dream did the same move, but he did it a little differently. Instead of going for that reverse STO, instead of going for that, he went for a DDT. He put his arm like around. Keep in mind, he had like Black's like head here, face going that way. He put his arm around Aleister's head, and then did the reverse STO into a DDT and just spiked Aleister's head right on the mat. It was awesome looking. It was like an RVD style taken DDT. It was wicked, but it was so cool to watch. Aleister went for his top rope elbow. I forget what he calls it. You know, he went for basically the Randy Savage elbow. And that didn't work because Aleister lifted his boot, connected right with his face. And then Dream got his ropes stuck his ropes. Got his ropes stuck. Damn it, Samoan fan. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. Got his rope stuck. That just sounds awful. No, he got his arm stuck in the ropes like how he got Aleister's arm stuck earlier. Both of them went for boots. Dream went for a super kick only to get kneed in the face. And then, Aleister, you could see it coming. Aleister was kind of goading in Dream. Dream was getting more and more trash talky, kind of like, come on, come at me, boy. Sort of. Basically proclaiming he wasn't going to give up. And then Aleister Black Mass kicked him right in the head, which I know is always the move, but every time I see him do it, it just looks deadly and it looks awesome. And then he beat Dream by doing that. However, I gotta say, Velveteen Dream won in defeat here. This reminded me a lot of a Kurt Angle match back in the day, where Kurt Angle, he would beat an up-and-coming guy, but in winning, he made his opponent look so strong, where it's like, I don't even mind that he lost, because he looks so amazing here that you know that he's gonna be fine. After the match was over, Black got on the mic. He sat Indian style next to Dream's carcass, and basically finally acknowledged Velveteen Dream, saying, "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream." So the Dream, after losing, finally got what he really wanted: acknowledgement from Aleister Black, and for Black to say his name. And even though they would cut back to Dream every once in a while when Aleister was leaving the ring, and at one of the shots, Dream was smiling, so at least he got what he wanted. At this point in the show, you probably noticed that, like with this previous match, Lars and Kassius Ohno, Black and Dream, neither matches utilize the double ring icon. The double rings, should I say double ring icon? The double rings for their matches. That's because, of course, this is NXT TakeOver War Games. Thank you, Triple H, for bringing it back. So he got the double rings, the big giant steel cage. So with Dream and Black, they use the right ring. Looking at the hard camera. With Lars and Ohno, they use the left ring. Same thing with the next two matches. Ember Moon, Peyton, Royce, Billy Kay. Nikki Cross and Kairi Sane use the left ring. And then Andrade, Cien, Almas, and Drew McIntyre use the right ring. And then, of course, the only time both rings were utilized in one match was War Games, which as it should be. It would be weird to kind of see how the two rings would work in a regular one-on-one match or a tag team match, but at the same time, they wanted to keep it strictly to War Games. So I can totally appreciate that, and it honestly was the right move to make. So yeah. Next match, was indeed Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross. I will say this. While this was a good match, this was honestly the second shortest match on the show, which makes sense. Lars and Ohno went 5 minutes. No way this match was going less than that. But this match barely even went the 10-minute mark. It barely even got to 10 minutes. Why? I don't know. Now, and in terms of the quality, while this was a good match, I think that it should have been, that honestly, instead of Peyton Royce, and don't get me wrong, I like Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, more so Peyton Royce, but I would have much preferred it if Ruby Riott was in this match, so we can finally get that four-way that we were robbed of at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which was, that was supposed to be Ruby Riott, Ember Moon, Asuka, and Nikki Cross. Here, it could have been, it was Kairi Sane, who is basically put in, like, you could say put in with place of Asuka, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, but instead of Ruby Riott, we instead got Peyton Royce. Why we got Peyton Royce, I honestly don't know. Don't get me wrong, Peyton Royce is not bad by any means. She's not a bad wrestler. Billie Kay, on the other hand, needs work. Peyton Royce, however, is not bad, but they, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but they seem to stick out in this match like a sore thumb. Not that, again, not that Royce was bad, but I'm like, this match could have been so much better if Ruby Riott was in it. Especially given the fact that of course, predictable, Billie Kay did get involved at one point, whether intentional or not. So these four women brawled at the beginning. Peyton tried to take out Kairi Sane by herself. Tried to take out everyone by herself at one point. Got freaking Hurricane Rodded by Ember Moon for her troubles. Ember Moon was definitely the star of this match in my view. Well, considering the fact that she was part of the finish. There was this nice little spot where I think Peyton Royce was trying to get some kind of pinfall on Ember Moon, because Moon was in a sleeper hold held by Nikki Cross. Peyton Royce kicked both of them, went for a pinfall on both of them, and then Kairi Sane just came out of nowhere and basically had like a mini blockbuster on Royce. She went after Moon. That didn't really work out. Moon did a over the top rope cross body on I believe Nikki Cross, while Kairi Sane, about the same time, ran along the ring apron and just forearmed Peyton Royce right in her face. And then immediately afterwards, Ember Moon did an Austin Aries style tope, where she doesn't go through the middle ropes or the top rope. She goes through the middle and bottom ropes, which surprised me. And then, of course, they tried to go for all the spots in this match, because they only had about 10 minutes. Then Ember Moon picked up Nikki Cross and just powerbombed her right on the mat. That took Nikki Cross out for a majority of the match. Then, for a while, it was Kairi Sane and Ember Moon, which was good, including a moment where Kairi Sane basically pulled a Satoshi Kojima and just did the Kojima-style, Kojima-style chops into the corner, which I gotta say, I liked, because I actually like Satoshi Kojima. Anything going with Kojima, I'll be happy with. Peyton Royce came back in the match, did a sick-looking, like, almost weird version of the spider hold, the tarantula, I mean, on Ember Moon against, in the middle of the ropes. And, sorry about that. And Ember Moon paid her for her troubles. It was a nice little spot when, Ember and Nikki. Ember and Kairi were going at it. Ember jumped up, and then Kairi ended up spearing Peyton. Sad for Peyton. But don't worry. She eventually got Ember with an Aja Kong spinning back fist. And if anybody who's ever been hit with an Aja Kong spinning back fist will know that it hurts like hell. There was a nice little spot, I will say, when Kairi Sane was on the top rope turnbuckle. Ember Moon was going to give her a superplex from the middle rope. But then Peyton Royce came out of nowhere, and basically, while Ember Moon was doing the top rope suplex, I keep saying Kairi Sane, Peyton Royce went for a German off the bottom rope. So both girls were taken out. And then afterwards, Nikki Cross finally came back in the match, hit a cross body on all three of them. because, of course, the point is of character, she's crazy. Just beating the hell out of all 3 women. Kairi Sane got held in the Tree of Woe. Peyton Royce got knocked out to the outside. Nikki Cross went for her sweeping suplex-style move. I forget what she calls it. That may be her finish. I forget whether or not that's her finish or not. But Ember Moon broke it up. So then it was Nikki and Ember for a while. And then what was it? Nikki and Ember? Yeah, it was Nikki and Ember. Including a twisting regular suplex when Ember was hanging off the top rope, which was cool. Peyton Royce came in, went for her finish, which is the perfect plex into the bridging pinning attempt. Kairi Sane got Peyton Royce hit an admittedly weak looking Alabama slam to Peyton onto a Nikki Cross who was already lying prone in the ring by the corner. Kairi Sane went for her top rope Randy Savage style elbow. Then Peyton Royce went up top, tried to stop Ember Moon from using the Eclipse, only to get and then attacked Kairi Sane to the outside. Peyton Royce tried to go into the ring, finish off Nikki Cross, but Ember at this point had rejuvenated enough to hit the Eclipse on both Nikki Cross and Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce got out of the ring. She ended up pinning Nikki Cross, and she is the new NXT Women's Champion. I did like this match. It was a good match. I just wish it would have gone like 5 minutes longer, and then we would have gotten a great match. As it is, we got a good match. Asuka presented Ember Moon with the NXT Women's Championship. They hugged it out, and William Regal and Asuka celebrated with Moon. I do have one problem with that. For months and months, Ember Moon and Asuka had been mortal enemies on NXT because Ember Moon wanted the title shot. She cheated in a way to retain it the first time at TakeOver Orlando. She hurt, it was inadvertent, but she hurt Ember en route to TakeOver Chicago, so she wouldn't get a rematch along with the Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross in that what was supposed to be a fatal 4-way. And then because booking was not that great, because honestly this is one of the cases where booking was not smart at all, they allowed Asuka to keep the title despite an injury she suffered at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. So basically this woman, who had been mortal enemies with Asuka, now all of a sudden is kind of buddy-buddy with her. Maybe it's not so much mortal enemies as it is enemies over the championship, and there's a mutual respect towards them. I just found it kind of off-putting. Maybe it's just me. It was nice to see, but going in storyline and what they've been building up with these two over the last several months before this, it just didn't feel right. Out next, Andrade Cien Almas was challenging Drew McIntyre for his NXT championship. This, much like the Aleister Black Velveteen Dream match, was a great match. Andrade Cien Almas, much more of a douchebag, asshole heel, who is also accompanied to the ring by Smokin' Selena Vega. I gotta say that right. Selena Vega. God, I sound like a creeper. Oh man, so let's just continue before I end up on Keemstar or something. So Drew McIntyre went after Andrade, tried to basically beat the hell out of him. Me, like many people, thought that Andrade getting a title shot, this was only like a filler for when Drew drops the championship to Adam Cole. And believe it or not, like the night before or something like that, some odd days before the show, Drew McIntyre actually faced Adam Cole in Texas for the NXT Championship at a house show with Shawn Michaels guest refereeing. that was cool. That was nice. So these guys had really a lot more of a back and forth match, with Drew McIntyre having the size and power gain, while Andrade had the speed and flexibility advantage. At one point, while Drew was on the outside, referee was briefly distracted by Andrade. Zelina Vega, who is Thea Trinidad, fiance, I believe, of Austin Aries, and is actually a real professional wrestler, went for a running apron Hurricane Rana, and failed because Drew McIntyre is way bigger than she is, figuratively and literally. God damn, I really am gonna end up on Keemstar. And of course, and unlike usual where the heels take control here, Andrade went for a tope and got forearmed right in the face for his troubles. It's just like, and I liked how this was more of a back and forth style match instead of heel constantly working over babyface. It wasn't until Drew McIntyre rammed himself into the ring post when Andrade truly took control of the match. Went for that neck breaker into a clothesline to the mat combination. Went for the rope arm breaker. There was a nice little moment when Drew McIntyre trying to countering one of Andrade's moves. He got a suplex on him, but instead of doing a regular suplex, he just like threw him halfway across the ring, like Brock Lesnar style. Seen Brock Lesnar do suplexes, you know that he can throw his opponent halfway across the ring, all the way across the ring. What the hell am I talking about? Andrade tried to keep the leg up on Drew. That didn't really work out because Drew's significantly bigger than he is. Even hit a very... And then, almost in a weird sense, went to Suplex City with Andrade himself. And hit two different style versions of the German suplex. More like throws. He really more throwing this guy across the ring. And then did his top rope flying forearm. And then, of course, a kip up because this guy is mega talented. Got a Celtic Cross. That didn't work. Andrade seeing Almas went for the double knees into the corner. That didn't work. But Andrade was able to get that, what I would call the turnbuckle-assisted Destino, the Tilt-A-Whirl DDT, inverted DDT, a modified Destino, I should say, onto Drew McIntyre. That did not get the win. He went for the handblock DDT, but that didn't work out. At one point, Andrade tried to go for a reverse Rana on Drew, only for Drew to go to a reverse Alabama Slam. Drew went for the top rope again. The top turnbuckle, I should say, was knocked off by Andrade, went to the outside. Andrade then went for a Hurricane Rana to the outside. As Drew was about to powerbomb him, Andrade did hit a Hurricane Rana, sort of, and hurled Drew's head right against the ring post. Andrade went for probably the craziest spot of the match, which is he went on the top turnbuckle, right on this particular side of the ring. He went to the top turnbuckle, hit a moonsault off of the turnbuckle, landed on Andrade onto the floor. I'm glad neither of them got hurt because I was afraid that Andrade was going to hurt somebody. As it turns out, he accidentally did, but it was not on that spot. Hang on. Andrade was at the top rope. Drew was up there with him. Went for the Drew was in the Tree of Woe. He got double foot stomped and then got hit with the double knees into the corner. That did not finish off Drew. Drew later on hit a power bomb, probably a sick-looking power bomb at that. I think he went for his own Future Shock DDT, but Andrade countered. Tried to go for several pin attempts. Eventually, Drew got his Future Shock DDT. He did not get the pin. He went for a Celtic Cross off the top rope, which would have been an awesome spot, but sadly we didn't see it. Andrade went for another double knees into the corner, to the back of Drew's head. For whatever reason, Andrade went to the outside. I think he went to go grab the belt. And while he was doing this, Zelina Vega came in the ring, hit a Hurricane Rana hitting Drew's face, and keep in mind, Drew was kneeling. She had a Hurricane Rana on Drew onto the mat, so Drew went head first into the mat. Andrade went for a hammerlock DDT, got it, only got a 2 count, which was awesome. At this point, I'm like, okay, Drew's gonna win. Drew hit the Claymore kick, and turned Andrade Cien almost inside out like a pancake. But as he was going for the pin, Zelina Vega put on Andrade's foot on the bottom rope, and I don't think Drew even saw it. Drew went for another Claymore kick, went over the top rope, and then came the scariest spot in the match for real, as it turned out. So here's what happened. The spot was actually the final spot of the match. Andrade would get a double hammerlock DDT onto Drew, a draping double hammerlock DDT from the top rope. But here, maybe it was the way it happened, but it looked more like a freaking head spike almost. So here's what happened. And I watched it in slow motion so I could figure out exactly how it happened. So he went for the hit to hammerlock DDT. However, whether it was Andrade or Drew kind of twisted more to his right side. His right side, and or his left side, I should say. However, his left arm was still being held on the top rope. I think it was just one of those momentary lapses of judgment where he didn't let go of the rope, and it ended up fucking up his arm. And he's going to be out possibly until after WrestleMania season. So yes, this guy who could have been on the main roster by the Royal Rumble possibly will miss WrestleMania. That sucks for Drew McIntyre, especially for a guy who went through all the shit that he did during his first run. Had the keys to the kingdom handed to him, but then that whole thing with his wife Taryn Terrell and the Playboy thing, eventually that knocked him down to the point where by the end of the run, he was a friggin' jobber to the stars as a member of 3MB. Man, it was just sad. And then he left, went to TNA, became TNA champion, actually was one of the few bright spots of TNA, feuds with Lashley, with EC3, was grand champion, a good grand champion I might add, left in 2016 due to the contract BS, especially for Drew, because Drew did not want to leave TNA, but TNA kind of, again, like with so many others, was too late in trying to keep the guy signed to them because they're a bunch of fucking morons. Drew then came back to NXT. And maybe he left in 2017. He may have left earlier that year. I honestly forget, but he left TNA. No, you're right. I was right. He did leave early 2017. I'm thinking because 2016 was when he became TNA champion. He was grand champion in early 2017. Early 2017, he left. He dropped the grand championship because keep in mind he was leaving the company, yet he was a champion. Idiots. So Drew left TNA, came back to WWE, but into NXT, had a decent little run for himself, and then all of a sudden was challenging Bobby Roode for the NXT title at Takeover. He won. He was a pretty good champion. He had a really good match with Roderick Strong on NXT television. Then he faced Andrade, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt again. I'm like, God, a comeback story for this guy, marred by this injury. I hope he comes back because, my lord, could the main roster use him properly. He would be a great addition to either Raw or SmackDown. Main event, War Games. Now, let me explain the rules of War Games, the way they did it here. They did War Games a little bit differently. It was first of all, it was a three-way match of War Games. 3-on-3-on-3. It was the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and Red Dragon, Kylo Fish and Bobby O'Reilly. I completely switched their names. Now I feel like an idiot. I said Kyle Fish and Bobby O'Reilly. I switched their names. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Damn it. So, Undisputed Era. Sanity, which was Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Eric Young. And then the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. And a la The Shield, Roderick Strong came out wearing the Authors of Pain gear, which was awesome. The black tank top, the armor, the army camouflage looking pants. So here's how the match worked, and it was a little bit different from War Games. First of all, the top part of the giant cage was open, so that way guys like Roderick Strong and Adam Cole and other guys could do stuff from the top of the cage, which you knew they were gonna do. You knew they were gonna do this. That's just how it works now. But instead of, because in the original War Games match, you start off with two. Usually, you only had two teams. You started off with two people, and there would be a coin toss, and whoever had won the coin toss, their team would go first in terms of like for example, you have member of Team A, member of Team B. Team A won the coin toss, so when the few minutes are up, a member of Team A would come in, and then Team A, Team B, Team A, Team B, Team A, Team B, Team A, Team B, and then all 10 men are in the cage, and whoever, and you can only win the match when all members of the match are in the cage. You can only win by pinfall or submission. That's how these style matches work. This is why I was always a fan of TNA when they did Lethal Lockdown, because it was basically as close as they could without doing the double rings to a War Games match. Elimination Chamber, as fun as it is basically a bastardized version of War Games. It is a different idea, a similar idea, but different at the same time. So, yeah. But here they changed it up. There was no coin toss. You had three members of each team started off, mainly the captains, Adam Cole, Eric Young, and Roderick Strong, while Authors of Pain, Red Dragon, and Wolf and Dane were in, I shit you not, shark cages. What the hell is up with WWE's fetish for shark cages? First, there was last year with TM61 going up against Authors of Pain. And by the way, where the hell is TM61? I'm pretty sure one of the members would have come back by now. TM61 going up against Authors of Pain. Then there was Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble last year. Then there was Big Show and Big Cass with Enzo Amore in a shark cage, which was absolutely not needed whatsoever. Then there was the shark cages here. Why not just wait for them on the ramp and say you cannot touch each other or else, I don't know, the match ends or some shit. I don't know. I don't know why they do the things they do. But either way, shark cages. Every 5 minutes, one of the other two teams would go in. So the match went, and in some ways, went on faster. Although, considering the fact there was 3 teams, probably a good idea. Either way, even though there was changes to the rules, this was still a fun-ass match. With Adam Cole being the obvious target of both Eric Young and Roderick Strong. Because they both hate Young's guts. The 2 rings were connected by this metal crate, which means anybody who landed right in the middle of that thing hurt like shit. The 3 of them went at it for each other for a while. Not really so much in the ways of spots. It was just 2 guys. It was just 3 guys working basically a triple threat match just with 2 rings for a little bit. The first people to come out of the shark cage due to strobe light effects was Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. They took control. Then Authors of Pain came in. They started wrecking everyone's shit, including throwing Kyle O'Reilly from one ring to the other ring onto Bobby Fish, I believe. Or maybe it was Kyle O'Reilly, I don't know. And then doing the same thing to Eric Young, doing a backdrop to the other ring. Then Authors of Pain hit a slingshotted, both of them slingshot Roderick Strong over both sets of ropes into the other ring, landing on all the members of the match so far. That was awesome. Another awesome spot, one of the members of Authors of Pain hit a running Death Valley driver to Eric Young on the ropes while Eric Young was on the Tree of Woe, and he hit the move, I think, to Kyle O'Reilly onto Eric Young. Then Alexander Wolf came in the match. He brought in, I believe, like a metal, like a baton, almost like a cop baton, a skinny one. And then Killian Dane was introducing the weapons. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, trash cans, tables. Introduced all that. And then we had a complete melee, a brawl, and it was fun. Killian Dane, out of more than anybody in the match, Killian Dane was the star. He did a lot of moves. Squishing both Authors of Pain with a running senton drop kick style move. Hit a hit a top rope a splash from the top turnbuckle onto the members of Authors of Pain, Alexander Wolf, who sadly got in the way, pretty much everyone in the match. And then Adam Cole, except for Adam Cole tried to attack him with a kendo stick. That didn't work out. He ended up getting choked out. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly tried to save him. That didn't work. Including a nice spot where Bobby Fish was going for a sunset flip pin attempt. Kyle O'Reilly tried to give him a crossbody. Instead, Dane countered that, both of them, into a Michinoku driver. He had a Michinoku driver onto Kyle O'Reilly. God, what is wrong with me? Onto Kyle O'Reilly while Fish was still on the ground, so he landed O'Reilly onto Fish with a Meltzer driver and an ass stop to boot onto Fish. So that was awesome. Killian Dane just wrecking house, beating up one member of Authors of Pain, as well as, I believe, Bobby Fish. Then, if I recall correctly, it was Akam. Akam was the one who attacked Killian Dane while they were in between the rings on the steel crate. Just punching the hell out of each other. Akam tried to take advantage. Dane ended up hitting a crossbody. Then Razor came in, booted Dane right in the face, and hit a power slam onto a giant of Killian Dane. My lord. This match was crazy already, and then it just got more crazy. Fish went for a slingshot DDT on Akam, I believe. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, I believe, Adam Cole and Bobby Fish, I should say, hit the Chasing the Dragon onto Akam, I believe. So that was a cool looking spot. Hang on. Killian Dane again came in, tried to turn it into Dane Funhouse, as I want to call it. Ended up getting kicked by both members of Red Dragon. I keep calling him Red Dragon, even though they're the Undisputed. That's how I remember them. I know them as Red Dragon. Alexander Wolf then came in, and by the way, Alexander Wolf, as it turned out, got injured in this match, which is why we haven't been seeing him wrestle lately, because he got hurt. Although he's still with the crew. He got put into a chain length assisted arm breaker, I should say, by Kyle O'Reilly. When that was happening, Eric Young came off the top turnbuckle, had an elbow. Then Bobby Fish ended up hitting admittedly kind of a fun looking, or maybe it was probably Kyle O'Reilly. But he ended up hitting, they ended up hitting a Christopher Daniels style moonsault, the way he just springboards off the one rope, then the top rope, then the moonsault. He kind of did that. Akam, and, okay, Bobby, I'm trying to figure, okay, now I remember who's who. Bobby Fish was the one who was wearing the shirt the whole match. Kyle O'Reilly was not. Now I'm better. Akam and Razor both picked up O'Reilly and Fish for the Super Collider in between both rings. Because they, like, one was in one ring, one was in the other. So they hit the Super Collider in between both rings. Ended up hitting Killian Dane in the process as he was in between the rings. Eric Young went for his own Death Valley driver onto onto one of the members of Authors of Pain. The other one was on the floor. He landed on him at the same time. Then, where in many ways this feud all started, with a brief confrontation between Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. The story, remember, leading up to the match, the story was that Undisputed Era wanted Roderick Strong to join because they all came from the same place, Ring of Honor, and they could have done that, but Strong decided to stay babyface. He was just too over. Strong eventually hit the the Fireman's Carry into a lung blower. I forget the name of that finish. It's one of his old finishing moves. But then he went for backbreakers on everyone. To Young and Dane, all members of Sanity, including an angle slam or an Olympic slam onto Killian Dane. For a guy Dane's size, that's impressive. Adam Cole tried to go to the top turnbuckle. After super kicking Roderick Strong in the head for trying to get the pin. Went for the top turnbuckle in between the ropes, right? Mainly not turnbuckle so much as the ring post. Eric Young and Roderick Strong both went after him, the captains. Then, both members, okay, so let me just picture this. Adam Cole, and this is how one of the cameras placed it. Adam Cole was on the ring post inside the cage, right? In between the ropes. One side, on the left ring, I should say, Roderick Strong was trying to beat the hell out of him. On the right ring, Eric Young was trying to beat the hell out of him. To Eric Young came Red Dragon, Fish, and O'Reilly. And the same thing happened on the left side, except instead of Young, it was, Fish and O'Reilly, it was Sanity going after Roderick Strong. With Roderick, and both of them were going for both teams were going for back suplex on the captains. Then, both members of Authors of Pain went to each side, and both hit power bombs on all three guys. Dang, I sounded like Daffy Duck there. On all three guys, power bombs, explosive looking ones. Then Adam Cole, I think, did his Adam Cole Bebe shtick, or at least got praised by the crowd. I don't know, but both members of Authors of Pain, they weren't having none of that shit. They set up the tables. Alexander Wolf hit a German suplex from one of the rings, the right ring. A German suplex to one of the members of Authors of Pain through both tables. Adam Cole was trying to escape to the outside. There was another rule. I completely forgot to mention this. There was another rule. Should one of your members leave the steel cage and escape almost like a regular steel cage match, you and your team will be disqualified, and the match will just be between the two teams. That's basically how it worked. Adam Cole teased that he would do that. He would just leave. He did not do that. However, and another spot from Killian Dane, another reason why Killian Dane was the star of this match. Killian Dane, I shit you not, did a coast-to-coast from one side of the ring to the other, hit the trash can, hitting O'Reilly right in the face. Yes, a guy the size of Killian Dane hit a coast-to-coast. I didn't see that coming at all. I don't think anybody really did. They teased it several times in WCPW, but they never actually did it. Probably because they were worried about what would happen. But Killian Dane actually could do it. This is a WWE rig, so he actually did it. It was amazing to look at. Adam Cole did his Adam Cole baby. Roderick Strong stood up, went up to the top of the cage where Adam Cole was, and Roderick Strong, from the top of the cage, hit a superplex off the top of the cage onto everybody in the ring. Everybody came down like a house of bodies. Killian Dane and one of the members of Authors of Pain were on their feet first. And then they went for a rope-assisted finish. Their rope-assisted sweep-legged finish. I'm forgetting the name of their finish. I feel sad, I know. I can't remember the finishes. I feel bad. Then Red Dragon hit their finish on one of the members of Authors of Pain. Then Alexander Wolf and Eric Young hit their finish, their Sanity finish, onto O'Reilly. Then Roderick Strong came in, suplex, House of Fire. Then, once again, it was back to where it really began. Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. They went back and forth. Eric Young hit, rammed at one point Roderick Strong's head into the stage. And it was because of this that allowed Adam Cole to take charge, hit Eric Young with a kendo stick, take a steel chair, and hit a shining wizard to Eric Young through the chair into Eric Young's head. Got him for the 1-2-3, and Undisputed Era won the first ever NXT War Games, the first War Games match of any kind, really, in 17 years. Technically, the last War Games match was in WCW 2000, but that was a bastardized version of it. We hadn't seen a War Games match, real War Games match, since 1998, and that was not even that good of a match. And, ironically enough, had the same kind of thing. 3 teams, 3 tag team partners in each team, and everything, and, yeah. But this was a fucking awesome match. And like I said, all due respect to the guys who thought Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black had the best match of the night. They had a great match, absolutely. Told a great story. But this was just simply a better match, with some good storytelling. With Killian Dane being the star of the match, the head-to-head a couple times with Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, the wicked spots. Everyone shined in this match, more so Dane than everyone else, but everyone shined in this match. This was just a great match, and on a great show, no less. 9 out of 10. Easy. Easy. I wish it could be higher, but there were a couple things about the show that did irk me. Even so, or maybe that could have been better, but even so, this was a great match. Great show. Go check it out if you haven't already. You should just watch, after you finish watching this, just watch War Games. You'll have a blast watching it. Anyways, now with that being said, I'll see you next time, guys. My next review, I plan on reviewing TNA not TNA, but Bound for Glory of last year, of just a few months ago. I'm dreading watching it because I know how craptastical it is. So with that being said, guys, be well, stay safe, have a good day. I'll see you next time, guys, with the next review. Until next time, guys, peace.